activity. Okay. Now, the reason that happens is because there is a big difference in the output you get. When you think of what's my value, that's a question you ask all the time. But that's not going to give you the answer that you got right now. There's a big difference. See, the thing is, it sounds similar, and it is similar, but it doesn't produce the same response from you. You understand what I'm saying? The question that you went after is, what is the cost of not having me, right? The answer you get to that is significantly different from the question that you may have asked earlier in your life, which is, what value do I bring to the table? You get the difference? Okay. So some of you who said you were delighted with the answer that you wrote for yourself, let me hear, what did you discover? Why don't you share? Can we pass on the mics? Who wants to share?
Harsh.
Okay, Harsh. Harsh, is there?
Um, yeah. So I think what I discovered mostly was, which I had not factored in earlier, was when you take the businesses I'm in, creativity, you don't know how to put a number to it. A lot of the number comes from comparing with somebody who's doing what you do, which is very hard to do in acting. But so what I discovered was a certain amount of skill that I bring, which I had never quantified before. And secondly, the delight for me was when I discovered how much time they would waste in searching for someone like me.
Yeah.
Sounds a little overconfident.
So I'm going to elaborate on what Harsh said, because Harsh actually came up on stage and we had this conversation.
Yes.
So the first thing is that, remember, the question I asked you to ask sounds very similar to what others in my field get paid. But that's a completely different question, right? The question is, what's the cost of not having me? And Harsh realized, as soon as he asked this question to himself, he realized, oh my God, I come and take care of certain production aspects, which is very important. And people would lose out on 20 lakhs easily if I'm not taking care of that. Okay, but here's the catch. The production team is not stupid. If they don't have him, they're going to find someone else who's going to take care of that production. So I said, Harsh, what's the cost to find another person who would take care of the stuff that you are taking care of? Is it easy to find? And then he came up with, no, because they actually waited 3 months for that particular role, for that particular stuff. And then his numbers came from, what is the cost, even if they don't wait for 3 months, but if they have to wait for a month and a half of that, what's the cost to that? Remember, so here he's not taking him as a generic actor. He's quantifying those unique things that he's bringing into the equation, and what's the cost for not having those unique specific skills. Is that right, Harsh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because he's talented and a lot of other people are talented as well. So it's not the talent, but it's you in totality as a package when you arrive there. What you bring to the table is very different from picking another talented actor off the market, right? In totality, what he's contributing, being the right fit at the right time to that role, if he wasn't there, they're going to have to find time, spend time finding somebody else. And that's one of the costs that we tend to underestimate most. Cost of finding somebody else, not just with your skill sets, but everything else that you bring onto the table. It could be, your ownership. It could be your dedication. It could be your values of I would do whatever it takes, or stretching time. Your value of I will not give like my 90%, but I would give my 100%. It could be your value of not compromising on the quality of output that you would produce. Now there could be another resume, another that would perfectly match the number of years, that would perfectly match the skill set, that would match all of the trainings and all of that. But that may still not be
100% fit. And I'll tell you, there's a huge difference between a 99% fit and a 100% fit. For those of you who have paid the cost for a 99% fit, you would know. It's like everything is there except, and that 1% is huge. If I have to give you a very simple analogy for that, I think there was Zig Ziglar in one of his books. He talks about how he and his wife went out for shopping, and his wife always wanted to buy that shoe that she really liked, and it was the best shoe and for her in her mind. And she was like, a discount is going to come, let me wait. And then a discount comes. And the shoe that she wanted was there, but it was half size smaller than what she wanted. So she put it over there. She looked, and she's like, wow, they're absolutely adorable. And she's like, I really have to have this. And then she says, you know what? I'll adjust, and I will somehow fit into it. And she buys the shoe at half the price. And then she comes home and she goes to the Sunday service, with all her fancy clothes and the shoe, and she's so happy. And she comes back home, removes the shoe, and feels a lot of pain. So she says, okay, maybe after 1 month, she wears it one more time, and then she never, ever wears that shoe. So if you think about it, if she paid the full price, she might have worn it 100 times, 1,000 times. The cost for wearing it is like 1,000 times lesser than when she actually bought it at the half price but wore it 2 times. Now, in business, the cost of this is exponential. When you get the perfect fit for the qualities that matter, see, you'll never always get the perfect fit, but there are certain things that are most important. And when you get the perfect fit, it's so much more different from getting that 99% fit. So part of assessing what is the cost of not having you is figuring out that perfect fit that you become in that ecosystem.
The complete configuration. And those are some of the aspects that you might be taking for granted because it's natural for you. I mean, you are like that. You're made like that. It's in your genes. It's in your value system to deliver the way you do. And you might even take it for granted, but there is a cost, a big, big cost that contributes to that 100%.
So you figured out what that 100% for you is, and you said there's a moment of delight for you is?
The moment of delight for me was this, that when I spoke to this happened just two days back, I was sharing with you, that I was called in to can a scene, and they only had 15 minutes, and because they could rely on the fact that I would come and deliver, and I don't mean in terms of talent, but the fact that I would come in, I would handle my co-actors and make sure that we have rehearsed and whatever. Yeah. Had we gone 1 minute over, that 1 minute would have cost them 6 lakhs.
Okay, so now that's the value that you're bringing to the equation.
Yes,
and
yes.
The cost obviously is if you don't do that, who will do that? And how long do they have to wait for that?
According to me, according to what, and I'm speaking from personal experience, there's another co-star who's joined in, who they had to pick after a long time now. And they have reduced the stuff that they're going to do. Their schedule has gone up by 5 days.
Right. And now you've quantified that? You've quantified what's the loss for them because
it's a little too high for me to call.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me, but it's a big cost.
Yes.
And you know that number.
I do.
And can I ask you something? Is that number at least 10 times more than what you thought?
It's a lot more than 10 times. It's a lot more than 10 times.
Okay. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. Now, this is what I want you to do with yourself, right? Now, completion of this activity for me is you figured out something about your cost and value that you didn't until until today. So somebody came here up and asked me, she came up and asked, I'm not interested in getting a promotion. I'm not interested in getting more money or doing business. Actually, I'm not interested in anything in life. How do you... Now, I have to close a deal with her to become interested in life, to do something. So I asked her, I said, let's say, so she's earning, she said she's earning about 70,000. I asked her, what if you had 7 lakhs? What would you do every day if you were getting 7 lakhs instead of 70,000? Would you give it away for charity? Or would you put it in a bank account? She said, no, I would fly away. I would fly and visit new places and travel. And I asked her, at the current rate and speed at which you're going, am I right in saying it's going to easily take you another 40, 45 years before you might have that freedom? She said, yeah, roughly. I said, what if you accelerate and get that promotion that you just said you were not interested in? And if you continue at an accelerate, and if you get that freedom to travel where you want to within 5 years, would that convince you? Would that vision, when you see yourself doing these things, help you to convince yourself that it's worth working towards that promotion? She said, if I can go in 5 years, absolutely. So this is an example where she had to close a deal with herself about what is the cost that we are playing over here? Is it money? No, life years. Right? So how much time are you going to wait before you can have the life that you want? Very interesting. What are the other examples? So those of you who said you were delighted with what you found out, what are some examples? Let's pass him the mic. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Prashant Dowry, Dr. Prashant Dowry. I'm a dentist by profession. And I was just working out with this exercise right now. And I was trying to evaluate myself as to the way I want to start with this chain of dental clinics, so that, with my knowledge and experience, I feel the best of services can still be delivered, and a lot of people goes unattended. By default, you go to a good doctor. And so I want to start with chain of clinics wherein you don't go by default. You just go.
Who are you closing the deal with? Are you looking at an investor? Are you looking at...
No, I'm looking to make...
Right now, what's the deal that you got to close? You have a vision. I understand that.
Yeah, I have a vision.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
now,
right.
for you to do that activity, that is... Remember, people, this is the first step of the activity. Now, just because he knows that, the cost of me is X crores, he's not going to go and say, you know what, if you don't have me, you're going to miss the X crores. That's not what we're going after. It's important for Harsh to know that value so that he knows for himself if he's closing the deal at the right value. And second, we're going to learn how to transfer that image from here to the other person's mind without bragging and boasting and sounding arrogant and yet being direct. Okay, we're going to come there. So make sure you do the steps properly. This is a build up for what we're going to achieve as a larger process. It's one step. Okay, so for this activity, you have a vision. I understand that. For you to do this activity well, you have to first ask yourself the question, who am I closing a deal with?
With myself. No.
You just borrowed that from me.
No, this deal with the dentist around, so that I can start with the...
So now you're not even sure who you're closing the deal with?
This is basically, yes, with closing the deal with a lot of dentists so that I can start with this chain of clinics.
So let's say you had all of these dentists with you right now. Can you start tomorrow? What else do you need?
Yes, I can start tomorrow also.
You have everything that you need.
Yes.
Everything in place in order that you just have a bunch of dentists and then you're going to have clients walk in tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to train them a bit to make them understand about this
Can I
the
get him
financial
on stage,
literacy
Joshua? Like, can
to
I
them.
get some seating? You know what? Let me get you on stage in a bit. Just hold on. Once the sofas are ready, let's get you on stage. What were you about to say?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. See, I have lost around half decade establishing my company.
You have a
and
loss. What?
Half decades, 5 years. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
now
love this. I love this. You guys have already shifted your measurement to life years. Fantastic. That's good learning. Okay.
Well, I concluded this as a time versus money. So the time has gone, like 5 years have been gone. Okay. So, okay. What I have lose and what I have been waiting for, like now I see myself establishing, my business is growing and the turnover is raising high. So I feel like the time, the lifetime,
Yeah.
I can I can start the
Okay.
time what I have lose.
Yeah.
So I can evaluate that like what I have if I was not doing this business, what I was there. So I can go back to that moment.
No. The activity for you, see, that you do, yes, that's good because you motivate yourself into taking the right decisions. I like that. But in addition to that, the activity that I want you to do is figure out who do you want to close a deal with. And if that person does not have you, let me ask you, are you in a job or are you in a business?
I'm a director of a company.
You're right now you're a director of a company.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
But you haven't done this activity fully yet, have you? Not yet. Let me get you on stage as well. I'll come to you in a minute. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This is about closing the deal with a school owner,
Okay.
right? I actually had a conversation with Umaid. He himself happens to be a school owner, right?
Did you close him? I think you're.
I don't know. What happened when we started the conversation was I was just thinking about the value that I am creating in that school.
Yeah.
But then over the conversation from one or two questions that you put it across, I realized that if they do not continue, if they do not start if the school intended, where I actually had one round of conversation with that school, if they do not have my services for the next academic year, what would be happening is actually they would be going in the same direction that they are going now.
Yeah.
So by 2020, they would be moving in the opposite direction of what they intend to do actually. And for them to come back once again to the place that they are in 2019, it would take them 3 more years.
Okay. And Srinivas, you're talking this from your actual experience.
Yeah, actual experience.
You have actually turned around schools.
Yeah,
How many of them?
about 43. as of
43.
now.
And you have taken schools that weren't performing well and you have turned around them.
Yeah,
And from your experience, you're clearly seeing,
yeah.
wow, this must be very emotional to you.
They very, very, emotional, very
Your eyes are like, I'm like,
this is the delight part of it.
yeah.
Why it's very emotional is all these days I was only thinking about, okay, what is the value that I am creating in that school? But the question that Umaid put me was, what does the school
nice,
lose?
Very nice job, Umaid. Where is Umaid?
Not, no, sorry. If it is not Umaid, I forgot his name. hey. Suddenly don't
Who's
seem
the
to-
Good Samaritan?
No, I think he has gone out to buy an Indian SIM. He has come from Mohammed, Mohammed.
Okay.
Mohammed.
Mohammed
okay.
Masuddin.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Okay.
Right?
See,
And,
this is the role of a good partner. When you're pairing up, this because your tendency is to think, what's the value I'm bringing, and your partner has to say, wait, that's not the question Antonio gave. What is the cost of not having you? Right. So good job to
and
Mohammed. Yeah.
in that two contexts, one is they would be losing 4 years. The second one was, he asked me another pertinent question. He told me, if in those 4 years they do not have you in the next year, can you actually think of what is their fee structure and all those things? How many would be losing, how many would be going
Perfect.
out, how many would be coming in?
Pause for a moment. Okay, I just want to check who's listening carefully. I'm just going to check who's listening carefully.
Okay.
Now, he said something that is very significant in that question. What is his partner, Mohammed, doing there? So Mohammed had already shifted his attention from the value to what would be the loss, and they've already arrived at 4 years. Okay, that's a second measurement. See how cleverly Mohammed is leading him from the second measurement to the first measurement. He's saying, okay, in those 4 years, what would be their fee structure?
And that worked out to between 78 lakhs to 1.2 crores. That was the
difference.
The difference.
And I just want to clarify again. This is not projection. This is from the data that you have in your mind, approx about
from that particular
precise
school
data.
in which I have already gone with one round of consultation.
And the other schools where you have made the impact and where the impact wasn't there, the fee structure.
Yes.
And the difference is about 1 crore.
1 crore.
1 crore and 4 years. Wow.
So for which what I am asking is hardly about 15% of what I am.
Very nice. I love it. See, I don't know if you can see his emotions on the camera, but I don't know why it's a different color. But if you could notice, he's so overwhelmed emotionally, and we have not done anything until now other than just make him realize what is the impact value that he's been creating and he didn't know until now. Now let me ask you this question. This is very important for you to recognize, because I want you to do this. Some of you have done the exercise, but you have to do it well. So I want you to. Okay. I love my voice when. So let me ask you this question. Let's say this program is done now for him. It's over. And we say, let me see you after 3 months. Do you think by in itself of what just happened to him, this overwhelming emotional response and the value that he's discovered, that he's going to close better deals and more deals with the same people? Okay. This is the experience that I want you to go after. If you didn't get it right at the first round, do it with another partner, okay, who is going to push you and say, hey, is there anything unique about you? Are you just a pick and throw? Like, can they just take you out and put somebody else in over there? Okay, but that you might be in that situation. Then the question becomes different, because there's a girl who came up here. Is it okay for me to share that? So what's your name, ma'am? Okay, so Manju came up here and Manju asked, I'm thinking about the deal that I have to close, but really, if they don't have me, they'll put another HR over there. And then before I would have asked, but before I asked, she said, but the thing is, I really don't love being a HR. It's not something that I am passionate about. Now, you see, if that is the case, then you remember in the beginning of this I said that if you're not creating value, this program is not necessarily for you, because that's where this program comes in, is when you create value. But then this program is helping her in a different way, because she said, but that's not what I love doing, and I really want to do something else. Okay, so I asked her this question. I asked her, what did I ask you?
What makes value on what makes value add value on me if I'm not doing something which I love. I mean, it is like if I'm not doing something which I'm not liking, then what I'm missing.
What is the cost?
What is the cost?
So the cost, what is she missing out? Because she's not in a job that she is not loving, right? Now obviously, we had this discussion about, I told her, assume for a moment that you can pick any skill in the world and you can get good at it within 2 years. She said, no, then I would only have to get good at HR because that's the only thing that I have done. Is that true? No. For a lot of people, it is. Because it will take you, remember, when I say expert, it's only when you're an expert you can bring in that irreplaceable value. So for a lot of people, becoming an expert is going to take 10 to 20 years. Okay, because being an expert requires you to have the experience, the exposure, at which point you start bringing in that unique value. But then I told her, well, good for you, that's why I exist today, that maybe we can help you become an expert at anything within 2 years, right? Because part of what we do is help people develop accelerated capabilities, right? Like really fast. That's my background. That's where I come from. Is that when I was a computer science engineer, I didn't need a degree to get my assignments. Harini didn't need any recommendations, although she comes from a background of a legendary composer. She didn't need any recommendations to get her first song into movie. So we understand the space of skill development. So I rephrased the question to her and I asked, if you could develop any skill in the next 2 years to become extraordinary, anything that you love doing, what would that be? See, because she has a job, it pays for her, and in her free time, she can invest the next 2 years to become extraordinary at whatever she loves doing, so that in the third year, in the fourth year, she can have the freedom to do what she loves than to do what she has always been doing. Okay, now, and the reason I'm sharing this with some of you here is because this is true for some of you, is that if you don't find what is the cost of not having you, maybe you don't love what you do. Maybe you haven't arrived at a point where you are yet unreplaceable. So then the question changes to, if I can invest the next 2 years with accelerated support, like say, maybe you see a picture of you with Harini and me, helping you develop that skill in the next 2 years to become excellent at something. So the question becomes, what if I could become excellent at anything? Would I still continue this job? Would I still continue this business? Let me give you an example from my life. So one of the gifts I think I have is launching campaigns. What is a campaign? When the rain was, blowing and I couldn't go back to Chennai, I wake up in the morning and tell Hari, if you have unlimited time, unlimited money, what would you do? And we say, oh, let's launch Close the Deal. Okay? And I wanted to do Close the Deal before I go back to Chennai, which means I have 1 week time. And we had 1 week and we launched the campaign, no online marketing, but we launched the right campaign that got us I think about 80, 90 people who attended CTD for the first time. And this happened from the time to think to getting those customers is like 5 days, 4 days. Now that's a campaign. Now that's what I do a lot of times for our own business, is because we're good at persuasion and closing deals, we understand the psychology of what buyers buy. What naturally occurs to me is to write campaigns. So, but do I enjoy writing campaigns? Yeah, but not as much as I enjoy the other things that I enjoy. See, when I'm writing the campaign, I'm in that mode. It's a creative mode. For me, campaigns is about creativity and psychology and how do you take a challenge and, constraints. And a lot of people think creativity is art and music, but creativity is what you do with art and music and in business when you have constraints on it. You understand what I said? It's a very important thing to know, because closing deals is about creativity too. You need to be in the right state of mind. So when I'm writing a campaign, I'm all creative and I'm like, we play music, I go, and most of my campaigns come right out of the shower, because that's when you unwind, you let the water fall, and then you're like, and then you come out, and then there's this idea, and then we write, and then the campaign happens. But one morning, I woke up and prompted by a friend, she called me. She's actually sitting here. She called me and she said, hi, what are you doing? And before I could answer, she said, oh, another campaign. So one morning I wake up and I was thinking, what do I want to do with my life? Do I want to be launching campaigns? See, the problem is this, right? Am I good at doing campaigns? Yes. Do I enjoy campaigns when I do it? Yes. But if I have to make that my responsibility, are the campaigns going to get the full attention that they deserve? No. So I had to decide that I can do campaigns just like I do coding now. You know, all the automation that happens in our business, I do the coding because I personally love coding. You know, I do the coding. And, but I can do campaigns, but it can't be my responsibility. So again, I got into this mode. I said, if I have unlimited money and unlimited time, what would I do with my life? And the picture I saw is entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs who are extremely talented and who are taking the installations business to the whole world. And I don't know if you know, but when electricity came out, you know, about 200 years ago, when electricity was invented, people didn't know that electricity can be used today for what it can be used as. But someone had decided to build the roads, to lay the cables, and to put a light bulb. And one of the things that amazes me every single time is that I've seen people suffer with allergies, right? They have allergy, and they have allergy for all kinds of crazy things. And you know, some people have allergy of sunlight, some people have allergy of gold, some people have allergy to nuts and some kinds of food. And until now, there isn't a method available for people to overcome allergy like that. And yet, Harini and I have personally seen more than thousands of people overcome allergy in less than 45 minutes. With a over 90% success rate. Over. So I saw a future where there's someone building the business of creating an army of people who can help people overcome allergies in minutes. The same thing with conceiving. The same thing with students who can't study maths. So that morning, when I was asking myself the question, what if I have next 2 years, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, and if I don't have to ever campaign in my life, what would I be building and doing? And I saw myself work with entrepreneurs, develop entrepreneurs who are taking installation for allergy, installations for conceiving, installations for overcoming challenges of maths, and making it into a multi-billion-dollar business. So what did I do? I started investing my time on that. For the next 3 to 6 months, I started thinking around those lines. And one fine day in charisma intensification when I was in Bangkok, I realized now is the time. And I closed my first deal with Dr. Sudha. He must be somewhere over here. I asked Dr. Sudha if he could, do this as a business over the next 2 years. So you see, everybody goes through that phase. There's a point in your life where it's time to get to the next level. For some of you, it might be so obvious like her. You might say, I don't love what I'm doing. But for some of you, I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about it. But you know what? I am ready for a greater potential. I am ready for a greater reach. And then you have to start thinking about the skill that you have to build, accelerated in order for that reach. Okay, so when you're doing this activity, remember, one is what is the cost of not having you, but the other important thing that you will find out is where you are in your life right now. If you don't get a cost that is significant enough, then maybe you're in the point in your life where you have to go to the next level. Okay, then you have to close a deal with yourself. You have to make the time. I'm going to commit the next 2 years to build my capability and connections to go to the next level. Okay, so there's just two possibilities from this exercise. You did the exercise, assuming you did it well. And some of you, I recommend, please do it again in lunch break with a different partner. And find a partner who'll probe you, who's honest, who's genuine, who says, hey, what's the cost of not having you? You know, if I don't do the background check for people, then companies may hire the wrong people. Okay, but they can find someone else who can do the background check. So that person has to be honest and genuinely help you bring out what's unique about you. Okay, and if you don't find a good partner, just do it by yourself. But I recommend find a good partner. If that doesn't work with the partner, go with another partner. So there's only two outcomes, two useful outcomes out of this. One, you recognize you're in a space in life where you're not yet in a unique position, or it's time for you to go to the next league. So you start thinking, what do I need to build? What capabilities do I have to inculcate? Or you find what is the cost of not having you, and then you find the number to it in terms of money and in terms of years. And I think that'll give you a breakthrough in itself. If you don't get anything else from CDD, this alone will save you many years of your life. Okay, so going back to Srinivas. So how do you feel about this, Srinivas? Okay. Srinivas, I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to pull you up on stage later, but I'm going to give you an assignment, okay?
Okay.
Which is, you have a certain information in your head.
Yeah.
What are 5 different ways in which you can plant that information in the head of your buyer? Okay, you don't have to answer right now, but I just want you to meditate and think and go deeper in that.
Okay.
Okay, so the assignment is, okay, you have a particular value. That goes to you, Hirsch, and that goes to all of you who've got a great number. Okay, at the back of your head, I want you to process, okay, you have a number right now. You know what's the cost of not having you. What are 5 creative ways in which you can directly, yet differently, plant that information? When I say plant that information, do you know what I mean? So let's say Srinivas goes and says, you know what, if you don't do this service, you'll lose 1 crore. The other person will look at that, they will hear it, but it goes through this year and comes out through that year. So plant means they process to the point they're emotionally triggered by it. You saw the way he felt? Now that school has to feel, oh God, I don't want to lose 4 years. Okay, so you could say whatever you want. The question is, what are they receiving? So for those of you who had a good enough number, this is your assignment, and do this in the back of your head throughout the day, throughout the night, when you sleep, when you wake up in the morning. And I'm going to give you some ways to do it too, but I want you to tap into the resources you already have to figure what are some creative ways by which you can take this information that you've just unearthed in your head and plant it in the head of the a person you're working with. You could do that?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Let me hear some more examples of what happened. Okay, it's Dr. Ravi and then him.
We need a mic for him.
Yeah. Do they have to be mic'd or are they just going to come up?
I think they can just come up with their,
Okay.
their hand mics.
Usually while discussing with, fortunately I got him and he was very picky in questions and very probing.
Okay,
so I
Professor.
just started. Yeah. Thank you for that. So I started with what I usually do, that what we do with the patient. So he became a patient and I was pitching to him.
Okay.
So what we do and what I actually bring in for a patient. But then he started probing you what numbers, in numbers. Then I just calculated and then I gave a number.
Okay, pause. Some of you might find it odd. Like, why should someone probe you to say what numbers? Isn't that the damn assignment? Right? But remember, that's your nature. Yes. Most of you, when you're good at something, your nature is to think about it in every other way than the numbers. Okay, so good job at that. Okay.
So then I figured out a number that most of the patient, if they continue with such and such disease, will at least spend 30 lakhs on that particular disease. So that And number, I could figure it out. And it is not that I didn't knew that number.
Very, very poor number. Very poor number compared to the impact if you come across the life years. Can you elaborate on what kind of disease you're talking about?
Diabetes with complications.
Okay. So, and you're saying that your patients have gotten a significantly better quality of life
Yes, yes, definitely.
than when they didn't come to you.
Yes.
Or they went to another homeopathy.
Yeah. Anyway.
And you
Or
have
an alternative.
all an
Yes.
alternative. Okay.
Yes,
And you have
yes.
data for that.
Yes.
Okay. So, in addition to the number of years, number of
So
value.
this is 30 lakhs, yeah.
Okay.
And years is very significant in my case because
Very good.
if somebody gets a complication,
Yeah.
after that, whatever years he have,
Yeah.
he will be suffering that disease. So
Okay.
whatever is means age, I will be minusing 100 minus age. Because once you are having a disease, a complication, it is for life. You will be suffering for life. You will be suffering a quality
Yeah,
of
so I want to
life.
make it to bring to your awareness over here. He's not talking about how long a person will live. He's talking about how long a person will continue to live with a lesser quality of life.
Because see, we cannot just point at death that somebody can die like this. It is about
Then you
quality
become
of
an insurance
life.
company.
It is the quality of life and the
So
happiness
put a
and the
number. No,
relationship.
put a number. See, when the way you're saying it is not going to stick, not in your head.
So how can I put years?
Average number of. So let. Why don't you come up to? Let's get you two. Yeah, on stage. Okay, come up. We have two more people to come up, right? Who are the other two? Could you please come up? Yeah, I want you to help you do the activity properly. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm just going to point you in the direction so during lunch you can complete it. It's simple mathematics. I'm not going to do anything complicated. Very simple. What's the average of your
Just come up
patient's
like that
years?
from there.
Yeah, but let me do it on stage. Yeah, come. You want to share something?
Can we get him a mic?
After him, yeah. So you see what's going on over here is that he did the exercise and he's significantly gotten value from it. He's got the number in his head, the finance. He's also got a ballpark of the quality of number of years, but he still does not have a number. Completing that is going to make his communication more congruent. Okay, so some of you might be in that situation. Dig deeper. Go get to the specifics.
So hi, my name is Chetan Podar, and I teach people how to trade and I invest. So I am what is called as a coach who teaches people how to trade and invest. And something, so I teach professional grade investing, that sort of thing. And I've been teaching it for last 8-9 years in India. There's something while I was doing this exercise, there is something something which hit me. So what happened is a couple of weeks back, I had my birthday. And there is this particular lady who has been learning from me, a slightly senior lady who has been learning from me for the last 5 years and all that. And she came and got me a cake. And she said, sir, but you know what, I need you to take care of your health. So what had happened is, about a year and a half back, I had met with an accident, and I was just about to die. And for 3 months, I was on a stretcher because I'd broken both my knees. So in that 3 months, I put on a lot of weight, So they actually saw me kind of growing in size because no activity. And then in order to compensate and, tell myself that this is not what is going to stop me in my life, I launched about 3-4 more programs which helped a lot of people. So she came with a cake and said, sir, please, I need you to become a little bit fitter in life. I need you to be, I need you not to be falling ill. And that there are two parts of it. One is you need to go to the gym. So I am going to come down and pay the fees for you to go to the gym. So she said that. Second, she said that the second part is, I know you are extremely busy in life. So I know that there is no one to take care of your food. So once a week, I'm going to come down and I'm going to cook for you so that you are on the right tracks. And that is when it kind of hit me, saying that, oh my God, what's happening in life?
Yeah.
So,
So have you got your numbers?
yes, I got my numbers, so I was sitting down and churning them, and so it is generally what happens is when people come and, they approach me, they lose about 5 or 10 lakh rupees before they come down and they,
So wait, before we get there, this is interesting. And you know what, the interesting thing about this is also that sometimes you might be saving them life, years, and not just money. But
Yeah.
before that, let me just validate some facts with you. So when people come to you and they invest, see, what I tell people all the time is that if there are 100 people who are going for a cancer cure, and you have the worst method for cancer cure, still 2 people will come out cured. Okay? But then the challenge is, and when you read a lot of books on self-help specifically, it will say, this person did this and they got that, but that would be 1 in the million who did that. So the challenge is to know if a method works, is to know in what percentage has it worked. Has it worked in at least 80%, 90% of the people? So let me validate some facts with you. Do you know, it's a yes or no question, do you know how many people who learn from you make money and make loss across a year?
yeah, so about 90 to 95% efficacy rate.
Wait. Is a yes or no question?
Yeah.
First of all,
Yes,
the
yes,
question
yes.
is, do you track? I'll
Yes.
tell you, what's your name again?
Chetan.
Chetan, okay. So this is not about Chetan, but the scam that happens in this industry. What's the scam that happens in this industry? Is that people teach you how to trade, and you will make money the first month. But because remember, trading is a very, very emotional thing. You may make money in the second month, but if you haven't learned how to hedge, if you haven't learned how to get your emotions tailored, then within the 6th month, you will lose all the money. Okay, so the scam that happens in that industry is that people will show you results of within 1 month, this investor got 50% increase, 1 year, 100% increase, or even they invested 5 lakhs, they got 10 lakhs, but that means nothing, because the actual skill of trading is like martial arts, and specifically like boxing. See, there are 2 types of martial arts. The karate, the mindset is a half a punch can kill you, so never let anyone punch you, and go with the preparation so that you won't get a punch. Okay, that's karate. The kickboxing or boxing is you will get punched. So prepare so that when the punch comes to you, it lands on you, it doesn't knock you out. Like when I remember my years of karate class was all about, how do you avoid. And my years of boxing was about how do you make sure that the punch is not hitting you. So it was painful because I had to get punched to learn boxing. Which, if you are a trader, what mindset would you take? The people who lose money, they take the karate approach. They think if they have a good intuition. What has intuition got with trading? It is all subject to chance and luck. Sometimes a crazy billionaire could do something out there, or a terrorist could do something, you have no control, and in a split second, all that money can disappear, okay? So you prepare like a boxer. Even if my money gets wiped out, in total, have I made profit? Does that make sense to you? Okay, but when people show you 1 month result, what mindset are they? The martial arts thing, right? You'll get a strong punch. So the first question I asked him is, do you measure the result for a year's time? And his answer was yes. Okay, now that already tells me he's bringing in something unique to the table. Are the other trading coaches stupid? Do they not know to measure it for a year? No, they know, but it's for their business advantage to measure it just for a month. Okay, so that's the first question. Do you measure honestly for an entire year?
Actually, I I do measure it, and there are a lot of people who actually quit their jobs, and most of the students who I have. So here's what it is: I don't advertise. I don't tell people to join my
wait.
program.
I don't need to know that yet. I'm just arriving
Yeah,
at something
yeah.
else. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you measure
Yes, I do.
for a year's time?
I actually more than 1 year.
More-
So
more
most
than
of
a
the
year,
people
yeah.
who are with me are 5-6 years.
Okay, perfect. More than a year. And you're saying the total profit, which is the summation of the profit and the loss and the profit and the loss and the profit, super loss and profit. The summation of all of that is higher, is profit and not loss.
Massively higher.
Massively high
Massively higher.
for about 80-90% of the people.
More than that.
Okay, so now, do you see that he has something very, very valuable to offer? Now, are there thousands of coaches who do trading? Yes, but is there someone who's actually looking at the results over a year's time? Not necessarily. So that's the unique thing that he is bringing into this equation. So what could go wrong if he didn't do that? Okay, so let me figure out what you have figured already, and then let me add to it, if I could. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started doing this because I just wanted to help people.
I want the numbers.
I'm sorry, what?
The exercise, the numbers you arrived at.
The numbers which I arrived at is about 1 crore
Okay.
for
and what
every
else?
person.
And what else?
And the years I arrived is about 25 years.
Explain that.
Explain that in the sense very simple, that when somebody is doing his on his own, or when he's going to another coach. So like I said, I never advertise. So everything is on word of mouth. And I have gates, means
Explain 25 years.
25 years. Okay, let me
Yeah.
explain this to you. So
Yeah.
if I do not teach him,
Yeah.
he is going to go and lose money, and then he is going to get confused, and then he is going to be going all over the place trying to find out the right formula.
And how many such people have you met?
How many such people? I have about 5,000 students.
How many have you met who have lost money and then came to you?
Actually, almost everybody loses money.
Yeah.
and comes
Now
to
this.
me.
Now, how did I know to ask that question? I'm listening because that's the first thing he said. Okay, very, very important. Okay, this is why I know he might be good at what he's doing. Is people lose money and then they come to him, and I'll tell you, having known people lose money, because a lot of people who I've helped people in debts come out of into profits, and people have come to up with debts, massive debts, and I can say about 25% of them who have come with debts to up were investors, traders, right? They had lost money, they had made money, and in an instant everything disappeared. Now, let's say you have 2 crores and you invest 2 crores into trading and it becomes 3 crores and you have tasted that success. I'll tell you, there is nothing as terrible as tasting success and then it being taken away from you. Oh God, it's like if you know what is possible and then it's taken away from you, there's nothing as devastating as that. So I've met people who've tasted the success with trading, okay, short term. Their 2 crores became 3 crores, and then in an instant, everything gone. Now, what are the challenges? They want to get back to that. They probably quit their job. They're not qualified again to go back and grow in their career. They've tasted life where they're working less in their own terms. It's so difficult for them to go back to their life. And then, even if they could, they don't have the capital. They've just lost it. And even if they have the capital, how do they know that they won't get wiped out all over again? So people can stay in that rut for a long, long, long time. Okay? Worst case would be 25 years or longer, maybe. But on average, people can stay in that rut for easily 10 years. And I can tell you by the response in this room, there are at least 10 people in this room who've lost big money trading. Close them. Okay, so if he puts it across the way I just did, maybe he already does, but if he puts it across, would it significantly differentiate him from the competitors? Yes? See, because unless you are even able to deliver to this result, you won't even think this way, right? And I always work with the frame that people are smart. People are intelligent. Your buyers are very, very intelligent. The moment you start conveying these things emotionally, now I'm going to give you a little drama of how this could have been conveyed otherwise, okay? So, so you're going into the client and you have a set of papers and you have a PowerPoint and you say, you know that 80% of the people who invest, they lose their money, and these are the facts. And if you come with me in the next 1 year, this is how much profit you could make. You see how blah that is? But I assure you, 90% of sales pitch is done that way. That's so different from recognizing the power that you bring in, that he said he was doing for his clients, and putting it out emotionally. Now, how many of you, when I was telling you what happens with people who trade and lose money, how many of you emotionally felt something in you? I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about someone else. But you are emotionally evoked. That is the art of persuasion. So you take the data, he gave the data, and you add the emotion. Their emotion, not yours. You could use yours to leverage their emotion, but you add their emotion to it. You got your deal. Okay, so congratulations. That's very good. How does it feel for you to actually put it down in numbers and say 25 years?
Actually, I was quite shocked. So I never thought of it from this perspective. I knew this was happening.
Yeah. You knew it vaguely, but you didn't quantify it.
No, I actually knew it very, very blatantly. I mean,
no, but the number.
No, so there have people who have come and very clearly told me.
Okay.
So there are people, so most of my students, so I don't...
They've told you about the number of years too?
Yeah. So there are people who have said, I mean, like this is lady who come and said, you know, look, I need you to be alive. No, seriously, in that...
No, my point is, see, that's an emotional statement.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily translate in your head into, oh God, if I didn't do this for her, she might have not had the quality of life she's having now for the next 25 years. Yeah. See, I'm saying there's a whole world of difference between knowing it almost and knowing it. Do you sing?
Yeah. I'm so sorry, do I sing?
Do you sing?
No.
Do you listen to music?
Yeah.
What type of music?
I don't know. Nowadays my teenage son listens to rap, so I have to listen to it.
You cook?
No, but my younger son cooks. I eat.
Okay. So
yeah, but I do. I do enjoy color. Yeah, but
you know how it tastes when you have a food that's just almost right, but doesn't have the right amount of salt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I want you to meditate on that number. See, because you've got the emotional aspect. You got to get the financial aspect of your pitch, the number aspect of your pitch. Why do I say he's got the emotional aspect? Come on, people. Because he started with a story. Okay, now this is something a lot of you have to learn to do. He didn't start with the numbers. He started with a story. I leveraged that to help you go through that emotion. But he started with a story. So you've got the emotional bit right. For the rest of the group, for some people, we're going to be working on getting the emotional bit. You've got the emotional bit right. Now, when you get the numbers in your head right. My recommendation for you would be pick 5 of your best case scenarios and then actually write down the number. How many years have you saved them to live a better quality of life? And I think when you get that, you're already getting referrals by word of mouth, right?
I actually I take only by reference.
Yes, so you're getting a lot of referrals already.
So I started with one student about 8 years back.
Yeah.
I have more than 5,000 students.
So do you see the possibility, what if your pitch your storytelling becomes 10 times more effective? Yeah. What do you see as the outcome of that?
I mean, I could literally help thousands of people get to where they want to get.
Good. So for that to happen, there's an activity I'm going to give you,
Yeah, okay.
which is take the best of your 5 cases and then actually write down their name and the number of years you have saved for them.
Okay.
Okay. And I can instantly guarantee you, just having that number in your head is going to get you like 10 times more results from your referrals.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good job. Let's give him a round of applause. I like this kind of stuff where people have done their assignment with each other properly, and I only had to do that a little bit more, that finer deal. Hi. Okay, so I need some mics for all of them here. Let me finish off with Dr. Ravi because, Dr. Ravi, so you've done most of the work. I just have to finish a little bit with you. Yeah, it's. I'm just going to close with these 3 people, and then we could pause for lunch. The reason I'm doing this is so that during the lunch break, when you do it again with each other, you may give it a better shot at what you just did. I can't tell you the significance and importance of getting this activity right. Okay, so I think Dr. Ravi just spoke about the number of quality years, right? So the question you asked is, how do I know how many years? How can I put a number to it?
Yes.
I just want you to put a random, not a random, I want you to pick random examples and put an average number to it. Okay, so let me help you with it. So you took the
please.
case of, did you take the case of diabetes?
Yeah, diabetes.
And so you took, so can you think of a particular patient
Yes.
who would have, for whom you know that type of people develop certain complications?
Yes.
You know that type of people?
Yeah, I can right now think of a patient with a complication right now.
No. Think of someone you helped. Wait.
Yeah.
Think of someone you helped who didn't develop complication,
Okay.
but you know people like them have developed complications.
Yes.
Okay, how old was this patient?
If I just think of a single patient, it was 35 years.
Okay, so this is a girl, a man, a boy?
Boy, man.
Okay, it's a man. Okay, so 35 years old, and he had come to you, and generally people of that age, when they come for that particular problem that they came to you for,
Yes.
when they don't get the kind of treatment you were able to give, when does the complication start?
Usually, this is the age where usually people diagnose with diabetes.
Yeah.
And they start a complication between 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so let's take the lowest. Let's say at about 45.
45, yeah.
Okay, and then generally what's the lifespan today? In today's world, lifespan is 80 years?
80, yeah.
80. So you're saying from 45. So when what type of complication are you talking about?
The first to develop is neuropathy usually. Nerves get numb and then the foot is not feeling as comfortable.
Okay.
And then they develop complication in eyes and kidneys. And the first to fire is kidneys.
Okay, so they have a poor lifestyle from 45 to 80. Let's just say
45.
80.
Okay, yeah.
Average. Let's just work with precise approximations.
Yes.
Okay. So
Precise approximation. Nice term. I loved it. It was nice.
So 35 to 80, how much is that? 45 to
45
80.
years.
Okay.
35 years.
Okay, 35 to 45 years, right?
Yeah.
So let's round it off to 40.
40 years.
Now, do you have a lot of patients like that?
Yeah, not many.
Does this make your significant category of people?
35. No, not exactly significant. Usually the people come to me after complications set in.
Okay, but you want patients to come to you before
That's-
complications.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so this is your target audience. This is
Yeah.
the kind of people you want your team to close deals with.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the number. That's it, 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, I'll tell you what. What was the thing that you said over there, Ravi, when you were sitting there? You said something. People for the rest of their life, they live.
The happiness and quality for rest of your life.
Not your life. You said their life. So,
Their life,
so,
yeah.
so let me say, when patients don't come, on time for the rest of their life, they live with a lesser quality of life. Okay.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the picture in your head. Okay. Have you done that? Okay. Now let me rephrase what I said. And I said that most people who come late, they miss 40 years of quality life because of the complications that have come and. what's the picture in your head when I said the second iteration? Pardon me? So some of you said much larger. For how many of you it was more intense? How many of you actually saw a person in that picture? You saw a person. My guess, when I said the first thing, you did not see a person. You saw a vague image of maybe people, right? Which one elicits emotion?
Second.
Remember, there could be 10,000 people dying in Africa right now. But it's the photo of that one child that evokes emotion.
Yes.
Right? Because we relate to human, a person. When you say lifetime and years, you're seeing statistics. But when you communicate saying, the way I said later.
Can you please repeat it? The way you said that. At least precise approximation.
I'm going to follow after you try it yourself. Catch me in the break.
Oh.
Okay, but I think the point is, Ravi, just get the number right.
Yeah.
Okay? And all the best. Rehearse saying it and find me in the break.
Yeah, sure.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So what did you learn from that? One of the things you need to keep in mind when you are planting your picture to the other person's picture is it's okay if you're going at approximations, but you want to get to the specifics that allows the other person to see either themselves or someone else in that picture. Okay? And getting to a number is going to give you a greater chance of doing that. You remember at the beginning of today we said persuasion happens in the other person's mind? So it's not about what you say, it's about what pictures they see in their head and what emotions they feel when you say what you say. So that's why I want you to get to the number, okay? Get to the number, even if it's approximate.
Is there any disadvantage to this approach where, is the are you, in terms of painting a slightly gloomy picture of what they may miss out on?
Well, actually, I'm not even asking you to paint a gloomy picture. I'm saying you knowing that will be a guideline for you to be congruent when you charge what you're charging. Okay, I'm not yet. So that's an assignment. I said find out 5 different ways of putting this thought in their head. Okay, but I think there's power in truth. So I don't see it as gloomy or pleasant. I think there's power in truth. And the question is, if you don't know the truth, how would you put the truth in someone else's head? So I would go after first knowing what's the truth. Am I actually adding value? If so, what's the cost of not having me? I have to know it so that I can sound congruent, so that I can not have double mind or second thoughts about should I even do that? Right? And then it also allows you to know should you even be in that business you are in. Because if you're not irreplaceable, probably you should not be. You should be finding something to build your skill on. So, as I said, that's important for you. But as a part of the assignment of 5 different ways to plant it in the other person's head, get to the numbers. It'll help you. So one of the reasons I didn't say back the sentence again was because I don't know what I said. All I know is that having that number in my mind will help you naturally say the right thing. It's not a script. It's more about knowing it means it comes out. I genuinely believe what's in your heart comes out. If you have the number in your heart, the other person will hear it in your words. Okay, so now I've brought these 2 gentlemen over here because I think they haven't done the activity. And I'm just going to guide them as to how to do the activity. So that for some of you who may not have done the activity or you haven't done it well enough, you do it during the lunch break. Is that okay? Okay, so hello. Prashant. Okay, hi, Dr. Prashant. Hello. So what is it that you do and what deal do you want to close?
I want to...
You're a dentist, I remember.
Yeah, I'm a dentist.
Okay.
So I want to close this deal with the dentist so that I can start with a chain of clinics, dental clinics.
You want. Okay. So before we get there, okay, let me ask you some fundamental questions. Okay. So let's start with some fundamentals. Okay. Why do you think? Help me understand, and I'm pretty sure nobody here has still understood. What is unique about what you're doing?
The uniqueness is that doctors have really not understood the financial aspects of doing delivering the services at a lower cost and still really having a good income for themselves. So that has always put doctors at a point, like every patient wants medical services at the least possible cost, whereas doctors want it at more profitable services.
Wait, let's start right at that assumption.
Okay.
Every patient wants, what is that you said? Every patient
wants their treatments done at the least possible cost.
Is that true? Let's start there. Is that true?
Yes, that is true, I feel.
You feel, but is that true?
Yes.
You're going to get a debate from there.
Yeah, exactly. So the question is never answered as to what should be the charges of doctors. Say, for example, I am a dentist.
Wait.
Yeah.
So, for a moment, what if that entire premise is wrong? What if patients are not really so much concerned about the charge of a doctor?
So there are two things about this.
Yeah. For a moment, could that be a possibility?
Yeah, there can be a possibility.
Okay.
So there are two possibilities.
Yeah.
One is the ability of the person to pay for particular service.
Yeah.
And second is the willingness of a person to pay for that service.
Okay.
Okay. Ability is a person, if I'm earning 1 lakh rupees and I can spare 10,000 rupees for one root canal this month.
Okay.
Willingness is I am earning 1 lakh rupees, still I don't want to pay 10,000 rupees for this root canal. I want to pay only 2,500 rupees for this root canal.
Okay.
So there is difference between ability to pay and willingness to pay for a particular procedure.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let's say Ganesh has a teeth problem.
Yes.
He really wants to go to a dentist.
Yes.
What's the first question that's coming in his mind when he's thinking about going to a dentist?
One is fear of pain, and second is
So see, the thing is, let me talk about your dental practice. Do you do a dental practice right now?
I do practice.
You do practice, and is it your own clinic?
In my own clinic, yes.
You do, and you have one clinic, mini clinic?
2 clinics I have.
You have 2 clinics. Is it okay for you to disclose your financials of how much your clinic is making?
Yes. In 1 to 2 lakh rupees per month.
Okay. Is that the profit?
It's not profit. It's the collection that.
It's the collection, and so how much is the profit?
30%, 30
So,
to 40%.
so how much is the profit?
Around 50 to 60,000 rupees is profit.
Okay, so now let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Let us say for a moment your method works. Financial method. We're not talking about medical method now. We're talking about financial method.
Yes.
Let's say your financial method works. How many doctors are going to be interested in making 50,000 a month?
It is the profits that we are talking, not collection. Okay.
We're talking about profits.
So, what I want to do is increase these profits from 50,000 rupees to 2 to 3 lakh rupees a month.
How do you know you can do that? You haven't done it yet.
I have done that.
You're making 50,000 profit now.
Now I am ready because I withdraw myself from this
Why?
practice because I want to start with the chain of clinics and all. If I sit all alone in my clinics, basically
You mean
yeah.
to say if you work 5 times harder, you could make 2 lakhs a month?
I can make 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs a month also.
But you haven't.
I don't want to do it just sitting myself alone over there. There is acceleration. I can make it, if I develop a system in which these principles are incorporated, probably this will help everybody.
How long have you been trying to do this?
What?
This chain of when did you said it used to make 2 lakhs a month, but now you're making 50,000 a month.
Yes.
How long has it been?
1 year.
Okay. So what have you discovered in the last 1 year?
I didn't get you.
In the last 1 year, you've been wanting to do this new chain of things.
This chain of thing I wanted to do since last 3 years. Okay. Now to do this chain of clinics, I cannot sit and keep practicing.
So you reduced your practicing for the last 1 year.
Yes.
So in the last 1 year, what have you learned and discovered?
I have learned and discovered is that many doctors are interested in going ahead with the way that I have made plans with this.
But have you closed a deal with someone?
Yes, I have. There are people who are ready to go ahead with this. But
When you say go ahead, what do you mean?
it means that they want to get tied up with my principals to whom I have talked to and be
So what's the deal?
The deal is that we all work on a common platform, that you have your own clinic, the management and financing principles will be only governed by me. The marketing will be taken care of me.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this, okay? So, Prashant, let's for a moment keep the other doctors aside.
Yeah.
For the purpose of the seminar,
Yeah.
let's focus on if you were to get, how many patients do you generally get right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I attend 4 or 5 patients a day.
Okay. Now let's say you're going to have a chain of doctors and you need to get 5,000 patients a day. Okay? Let's say you're going to have a lot of doctors. And let's change the scale here from 5 a day to 5,000 a day. Because you're talking about reducing cost. And my understanding is if you're going to be delivering very high quality at a rate that is unparalleled, then people must flock to it. Correct? Okay, hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Before I go to the next part of my question, or before I start my question, is it possible that for these today and tomorrow you orient your picture where you see 5,000 people coming in?
Yeah.
A day. Okay. Now,
Can I interrupt?
wait, you don't even know what I'm going towards, so don't interrupt. I might forget. See, Dr. Ravi asked me to repeat.
Okay.
So, let us for a moment think that you are getting a lot of doctors to come in. You still need 5,000 patients walking in.
Right.
Yes? Okay. And let's say we're going to make that the outcome for today and tomorrow. Okay? And let's say the 5 people who are coming in are like the mangoes that are dropping from the tree. Okay? And let's say to reach 5,000, you really have to do something very systemic and systematic about it. I'm going to propose that the exercises that we do, okay, you do it from the framework of those 5,000 customers.
Right.
Okay? Because I think even if you have to sign up doctors in your fold who are going to put an investment, because I think, one of the things I'm thinking about, Prashant, is what is missing in your model as to me right now, and maybe if I explore in greater depth, things might change or not. What is missing is a financial commitment from doctors who are saying they're going to join you. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you about that later. Okay, are you a pro or a, did you join, did you have a pre-consultation?
Yeah.
Who did the consultation for you? Dr. Sudha. Wow, one doctor to another. Okay. So Sudha is going to take care of, in your post-consultation, Sudha is going to talk to you about and explore, does it make sense for you to get an investment from the doctors you close?
Yes.
Okay? And Sudha is going to guide you through that. During post, you'll take care, Sudha. But that's a different agenda. Let's keep that agenda aside. Okay? But in order for you to get that kind of commitment, right, there are a lot of times commitments. You see, this commitment from decision. Commitment is when you're putting your skin at stake. You're like in it. For you to get that kind of commitment from people, one of the things your doctors are going to look at is what amount of patients is his system bringing in. Okay? So for the purpose of these 2 days today, you're going to look and the rest of the journey you have with me, we're going to look at how do you get 5,000 people walking into the door. That makes sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to just add one more assumption to it. It's an assumption. It's not true. But I want you to act with that assumption for today and tomorrow. Do you trust me enough to put that assumption, even though it's an assumption and you don't know it yet?
Yes.
Okay. Because science is all about, and you're a doctor, so you must respect science. All scientific theories are about disproving assumptions. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. So let's start with an assumption that with your current method, 5,000 people are not going to walk in. And let's assume also that there is certain secrets about the mindset of people. If you unlock and understand that, I'm assuming a few things here, okay? I'm assuming you're good at what you do. I'm assuming you really bring down the cost of your service, but you provide high quality work. That's taken for granted.
Correct.
Okay, I'm taking that for granted. Okay? It's up to you. Because you wouldn't have committed your life to it if that's not true. Okay, so you have a larger purpose.
Yes.
Good. So even after taking it for granted that you provide top class service at less than half the rate, even after taking that for granted, I'm going to assume, and I'm going to ask you to join me in that assumption for just 2 days, that even with that, 5,000 people are not going to walk in through that door every day. But there is something you can understand about the psychology of people, of buyers, that you haven't yet understood. And when you do that, you're going to incrementally increase the number of people walking in so easily that 5,000 will happen at some point. Okay? Could you put on that hat, that assumption for the next 2 days?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So when you put that assumption, the way you're going to go back and do the activity is you're going to think, if this patient doesn't come to me, to my chain of stores, what is the cost? And you're going to put down the monetary cost and you're going to put down the life years cost.
Right.
You'll do that?
Yes.
Okay. Find a good partner who'll push you, okay? But remember, the key to this, if you have to uncover the secret, if there are any, is for you to put on that hat for the next 2 days, that those 5 people, I have a great service, you have a great service, and that you have something that nobody else is offering, and yet 5,000 people are not going to walk in until you discover the secrets, okay? Because that's going to put you on a journey where you will find the secrets. And there are secrets. There are things I know. If you open your mind to them and recognize it, you'll be able to turn 5 into 50 into 500 much faster and much quicker. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. During lunch, I want you to do that exercise. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Hi. I'm not going to hypnotize you. That was my previous life. Okay, so take a deep breath. So what is this deal about?
This deal is about life, I think so.
Okay, so let me rephrase this. You had a great insight. You just discovered something about yourself that is very important to you. And you are very emotional about it, which is good because it gives you the strength to really make important decisions today and invest your attention and focus on what matters most. And that's good with me. What I'm going to do right now is to help you direct that energy inside a framework here so that we can get to actionable items on your business. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're going to start with is I want to know, so you already told me that you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the company you run?
See, basically this is a chemical engineering company dealing in oil and gas sector. It's actually, we have the technology for modular refineries.
Okay.
We supply equipments, technology, design, engineering, all this thing from our Indian office for oil-rich country like Saudi, Dubai, Qatar, Algeria.
So very good, very good. So this company has been making loss or profit until now?
Well, 3 years it was in loss while started, but past 2 years we are doing something good, and we have a project, we have a contract. So
You have projects, you have contracts, and so who turned this around? You, your father?
nothing, I just did alone.
You did it alone.
Yeah.
So what was the loss you were making, and how much profit are you making now?
Well, loss. Yeah, like we have closed a deal of 94 lakhs, like this. This was the whole sum of the amount, and the loss we have we have done some wrong marketing. We have went with some wrong partnership. You know, that was
Okay.
a loss of time actually.
So in the last 2 years, you've done more than 94 crores, hopefully?
Yeah.
Okay. Twice that? Thrice that?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Because there was a huge loss in the marketing part, and we are making the.
I don't know. I don't want to know why you didn't hit your numbers. I want to know how much numbers you hit. 2 crores or less?
No, less. It
Less.
was
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. You know what you must do? You must go and sign up for Ask Hari, and you must do the membership program. Not now. After this conversation. Okay? And you go and talk to Hari about it, because I think the problem, I'm going to solve your problem now, okay, with these exercises. But I feel, you know what I feel? The industry you're in, the biggest limitation I see is that your mindset has to shift to recognize how tiny is that revenue you just spoke about in your industry. Okay? And I want you to start, because right now when you're thinking about closing a deal, you're thinking about, I don't know, maybe less than 10 crores. But you know what? In your industry, that being your target is itself,
no, actually.
it's having the target it's in itself losing the battle. Okay? And I'm going to do my best to shift that for you in this program. But I really think for you, you need to, if not membership, you need to come for up. So you speak to Hari about that. Okay. Now, I pulled you up on stage for a specific purpose. I called you up here because I figured that you didn't complete the activity. Okay? And I want to give you the direction so that you complete the activity. Okay. So what's your name again? Arbaz. Okay, Arbaz. You have, from what I understand, you've been able to close deals internationally. I just want to understand one thing about what you do. Are you one of the many vendors who they can outsource and buy this from? Or are you a specialized organization that does something very specific and not a commodity, not generic?
The first one. The first one you said, that outsourcing.
Oh God. Okay. So why are you in it?
I am in it because I dropped out my college, so I have to do something good. So I find that this is a huge industry I can jump in.
Okay. What do you think about it now? Do you want to still be in that industry?
Yeah, I feel relaxed because some deals are closed, and I feel like what I have lose in the half ticket, like 5 years.
But are you closing profitable deals?
No, not yet.
Do you see a time in the future where you can close profitable deals?
Absolutely, yes.
How? So let's say you increase your profit margin, and the company goes, hey, you know what? The company next to you is offering it at half the cost. What would you do? Do you know Flextronics? Have you heard of Flextronics?
No.
Have you heard of, I don't know, Deltaware, Flextronics?
Delta I've heard, yeah.
No, Flextronics is a company that produces, that supplies all the parts, engineering parts, to some to Israeli government, to I think Samsung. They do a lot of, they do the back end for all the components. Do you know what's the turnover? It's some 200 billion or something. But they make about $2 billion of loss every year. One of the assumptions that people make in the outsource industry is when you get scale, profitability will magically happen. It's not true. If your deals are not profitable now, your deals are not going to be profitable when you get scale. Because if, let's just do this, okay? You become the vendor. Okay, can you pick that position? Put on the hat of a vendor, sorry, the buyer. Yeah. Put on the hat of the buyer.
Yeah.
You have two choices, two companies that's going to give you exactly the same thing. One is a big company, and the other is just starting out. They're trying to prove themselves. They're squeezing their prices.
Yes.
Who would you go with?
Well, I will go with the company who have expertise, not the price. So they are well qualified.
This is exactly why you won't be closing deals. See, because what you just said is whose mindset?
My buyers, my client.
Your mindset. Your buyers, and especially if you're coming from a market where there are so many people who are outsourcing, they have a completely different mindset. You know why? Because they have the expertise. You know what they'll do? They'll have a QC person over there, and if you do a mistake, they will squeeze you out to take that stock back and send it back. So they don't care how experienced you are, as long as they can control quality from their side. That happens? Yes. So their mindset is not that. Their mindset is, okay, I can't trust that big company, I can't trust that small company. I'm going to trust my own guys to do quality. And that is a huge expense for me. So how am I going to afford this huge expense for having quality control? I'll squeeze it out of that small guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So how are you going to turn this around, our boss? This is what I want you to do. In the afternoon, our boss, I want you to consider carefully. Do you have any research or engineering or fundamental or technical background to this?
Technically, I don't have background, but I was in this sector for 6 years. So
okay, so you have something. Okay, this is what I want you to think. During the lunch, I want you to think, if I have to develop something unique in this industry that makes me replaceable, even if it means I have to dedicate the next 2-3 years doing that, what would that be? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And if that, we're not done. Now let's say let's say your revenue is just 1 crore right now.
Yeah.
But let's say developing that unique thing is going to cost you 1 crore. But instead of taking 20 years to develop it, you'll develop it in 2 years. Would you pay that 1 crore?
Yeah, sure. I will.
Will you take a loan, take risk it all, and pay that 1 crore?
Yeah, like I will try to do loan and JV or something like this, so I can put some partner in between.
If you don't have a partner, it's on you. It's your skin in the game. Is the purpose strong enough for you to arrange that money?
Yeah, I will go for loan, yes, at least.
If there's a 50-50 chance.
Oh, then definitely, because I don't have option. Yeah.
It's good you recognize you don't have an option. But you know what? I think when it actually comes to that investment, I think you'll chicken out. And I'll tell you why. So let's say there's a house. Guys, this is going to take 10 minutes, but this is spontaneous, and this is value. I don't want to miss this. Okay, so I'm sorry about your lunch. So let me ask you. So let's say there is a treasure inside a house. Okay, that treasure is worth like, I don't know, 500 crore. But that house has electric fencing. Okay, it is very, very, very strong fence, and outside that electric fencing there are crocodiles. And outside of that crocodiles, there's cow dung. Like for 1 acre, you have to cross and go, or you have to find some way to go. Would you go and risk getting that 500 crore?
First, I will try to make a feasibility whether it is possible or not.
Well, I've told you the circumstance. Would you do it?
Yeah. Once I find the study is wrong, I will not go.
Huh?
Once I find the feasibility is not good, so.
You will or you won't. This is the circumstances. There's the electric fence, it's a high voltage shock, it could kill. There's crocodiles, there's cow dung.
No, I will not go.
You won't?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Even if you think you will, when you reach the cow dung, you won't?
No, cow dung is okay.
Okay. But when you come to the crocodile?
That's that.
No. Now let me say, instead of that 500 crore there's a family member's baby there, crying, and wants food. Then how does this change what you do?
I think it will be not just about me, it will be about someone else. So I will try to push myself more, because it's not just about my wealth or my thing. So it's about someone else's life.
Now if it's your child there, what happens?
Definitely I will.
Definitely.
Risk.
Okay. Now, remember, the circumstance is the same. The purpose is different. You know what? I'm sorry, Arbaz. I think if your purpose is I don't have any other choice, and you get this opportunity where you can invest right now, taking a loan, and go after that one, and put that 1 crore. But it'll give you that expertise within 2 years, 3 years, instead of 10 years. If the purpose is I don't have any other choice, you're not going to go. You think you will go. You might even cross the cow dung, but you'll stop. So what I'm going to propose you do this afternoon is I want you to figure out if you're going to stay in this business. Because if you stay in this business, you have to invest a lot more than 1 crore. You have to put your sweat, blood, and maybe borrow. And it doesn't come with a 100% guarantee. When you take a loan, it comes with 10 years that could go in just repaying it. But you will do it if you have a strong purpose. So this afternoon, what I want you to do when you're thinking about closing deals is I want you to think about, do you really want to stay in this business? And if you want to, I want you to have a lot. See, because it's not true that you don't have any other choice. There are hundreds of different choices. You know, I've got people who come to my program broke, and I say, go sell insurance and make money. Do they love selling insurance? No. But they do it for 2 years so that they have the financial freedom to do and start whatever business they wanted to start. There are hundreds of ways to make money. But making money is not going to be strong enough to risk. What are we dealing with over here? Risk. What risk? Investing money, maybe 1 crore, into developing and learning a skill, an expertise in your area, into research that will give you a unique advantage over your competition. If you are going to take that kind of a risk, you need a lot more than I don't have any other choice. Okay, so I want you to think during the break, and I'm going to pull you up tomorrow, okay, but I want you to think, what's your purpose for this? if you're doing this business, why would you do this business? And if you don't find a purpose, yet, I would ask you to figure what else can you do that you would love doing, in which you can become an expert in the next 2-3 years.
Well, the last goal was like, if I have this money, if establish this company 100% successful, then definitely whatever revenue I'm generating, I will try to help the people who are really in need. This was the last thing.
See, I tested that already, right? How did I test? Did I test Will that? I know he'll say this. I tested this. I said money. Then I said your relative's child. Did he jump to say the relative's child? No. When did he jump? His own child. Not strong enough. Work on it, okay? If not, I'm going to change your profession and you'll thank me for shutting down your business. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
With this conversation, what I understood that, what is my confusion is how to break a wall between the reality and the assumptions. I mean, what I feel like a lot of time
it's a very good question. I'm gonna get that maybe after lunch or later today.
Sure.
It's fantastic. The short answer, okay? Short answer is you test it out. And I have a fantastic activity for you later this evening that you guys wouldn't have expected to do, but you're going to. The short answer, test it out.
Okay.
The longer answer, today, tomorrow, after lunch. Okay. Okay, see you after lunch. I think lunch is an hour and a half. I don't know. I think there are a lot of good places nearby. You've sent some recommendations already? Yeah. If not, can you please send recommendations? I'll see you an hour and a half from now. It's 2:55. I'll see you at 4:25. See you.